Here's something that might sting a little. That expensive shotgun you've been eyeing, the one you think is going to transform your shooting overnight, it might actually be the worst thing you could buy right now. And I'm not saying that to be dramatic. I'm saying it because I've seen it happen over and over again. Shooters drop serious money on a premium firearm, take it to the range, and somehow shoot worse than they did before. Not because the gun is bad, but because it doesn't match where they are as a shooter. The fit is wrong, the weight is wrong, the balance is off, and instead of building confidence, they're fighting the gun every single time they mount it. Meanwhile, someone else picks up a shotgun that costs half the price, and suddenly everything clicks. Their swing feels smoother. Their timing sharpens. They're breaking clays they used to miss by a mile. That's the difference the right shotgun makes. It's not about the price tag. It's about the match between shooter and firearm. So today, I'm walking through 5 shotguns that cover every level of clay shooting. From the person who just discovered this sport all the way up to the competitive shooter chasing podium finishes. And I've ranked them in a very specific order for a reason. We're starting at the entry level and building our way up to the gun that serious competitors trust when everything is on the line. But here's the thing you need to pay attention to. It's not just about which gun is best. It's about which gun is best for you right now at your current skill level. Because if you get that wrong, you're not just wasting money. You're actually slowing down your own progress. And the gun I reveal at the very end of this list, it's the one that separates recreational shooters from dominant competitors. There's a specific reason why, and it goes way beyond just brand name or reputation. Let's get into it. Number 5, the Mossberg 940 Pro Sporting. We're starting with what I consider one of the smartest purchases a newer clay shooter can make. The Mossberg 940 Pro Sporting is a semi-automatic shotgun that punches way above its weight class when it comes to value. And here's why it earns a spot on this list. The gas-operated system in this gun does something incredibly important for developing shooters. It absorbs a significant portion of the recoil before it ever reaches your shoulder. Now, that might sound like a small thing, but think about what happens when you're shooting round after round on a sporting clays course. Every bit of kick accumulates. Your shoulder gets sore. You start flinching before you even pull the trigger. And once the flinch sets in, your accuracy falls apart completely. The 940 Pro Sporting fights that problem at the source. Less felt recoil means you stay relaxed. You stay consistent. You stay focused on the target instead of bracing for impact. The cycling speed on this gun is also worth talking about. It moves fast between shots, which matters a lot on report pairs and following pairs where you need that second shot ready almost immediately. There's no sluggish delay. The gun resets and you're back on target before you've even fully processed the first break. The stock is adjustable too, which is a feature you don't always find at this price point. Getting a proper stock fit changes everything about how the gun mounts to your shoulder and how naturally your eye aligns with the rib. An ill-fitting stock is one of the biggest hidden problems in clay shooting, and the fact that Mossberg gives you adjustability here is a genuine advantage. Now, I'll be honest about where this gun falls short. It doesn't have the refined balance of a high-end over and under. The weight distribution feels different. The overall shooting experience, while very good, doesn't have that premium locked-in sensation that you get from guns further up this list. But for the money, this is an outstanding starting point. If you're new to clay shooting or you're on a budget and you want a gun that helps you build fundamentals without punishing you physically, the Mossberg 940 Pro Sporting is a seriously smart choice. Number 4, the Browning Citori CX. Now we shift from semi-automatic to over and under territory. And this is where a lot of clay shooters eventually land. The Browning Citori CX is one of those shotguns that doesn't try to impress you with flashy features or fancy engraving. It impresses you by doing its job flawlessly. Every single time. For years on end. The steel receiver on this gun is built like a vault. It's not going to loosen up on you after a few thousand rounds. It's not going to develop play between the barrels and the action. It just stays tight and solid, which translates directly to consistent point of impact. And consistency is the entire game in clay shooting. You need to know that when you mount the gun and swing through a target, the shot is going exactly where you expect it to go. Every time. No surprises. What really sets the Citori CX apart is its versatility. This is a gun you can take to a trap range on Saturday morning, swing by the skeet fields in the afternoon, and shoot a full sporting clays course on Sunday, and it handles all 3 disciplines with genuine competence. You don't need 3 different guns. You need one Citori CX. The balance on this shotgun rewards smooth, deliberate gun movement. It doesn't want to be rushed or muscled around. It wants you to trust your swing, stay connected to the target's line, and let the break happen naturally. And that's actually a really important lesson for developing shooters, because learning to trust your swing instead of chasing and poking at targets is one of the biggest breakthroughs you'll ever have in this sport. The weight is the one area where some shooters push back. The Citori CX carries a bit more heft than some of its competitors, and over a long day of shooting, particularly on a demanding sporting clays course with a lot of walking between stations, that extra weight can make your arms feel heavy by the last few stands. But here's the flip side of that. Weight is stability. Weight smooths out your swing. Weight reduces the feeling of recoil. So what feels like a disadvantage in terms of fatigue is actually an advantage in terms of shooting performance. For the shooter who wants one reliable gun that handles everything and lasts for decades, the Citori CX is an absolute workhorse. It doesn't try to be exciting, it just delivers results, day after day, year after year. Number 3. The Beretta A400 Xcel. This is where we cross into serious performance territory, and the Beretta A400 Xcel is a gun that fundamentally changes what a semi-automatic shotgun can do on a clay course. The heart of this gun is the blink gas operating system, and it's not just a marketing gimmick. The cycling speed on this platform is remarkably fast. We're talking about the action resetting and being ready to fire again in a fraction of a second. On fast crossing targets, chandelles, and especially report pairs with tight windows, that speed advantage is tangible. You feel it. You sense that the gun is ready before you are. And that gives you this psychological edge where you're never rushing, never feeling behind. You stay in control. But the cycling speed is only half the story. The other half is the kick-off recoil reduction system built into the stock. This is a mechanical system, not just a rubber pad, that actively absorbs recoil energy before it transfers to your body. The difference is noticeable from the very first shot. You pull the trigger, the gun fires, and instead of that sharp jolt slamming into your shoulder, you get this managed, softened push. It's still there. You still know you fired. But it's civilized. It's controlled. And when you multiply that difference across 100 or 200 targets in a session, the cumulative effect on your body and your shooting is enormous. The overall handling of the A400 Xcel is also worth mentioning. It's lighter than most over and unders in its class, which makes it very responsive and quick to move. Some shooters describe it as feeling alive in their hands. It follows target lines naturally, almost intuitively, and it rewards an aggressive, confident shooting style. The maintenance factor is the trade-off with any semi-automatic. Gas-operated systems need regular cleaning. Carbon builds up, O-rings wear out, springs fatigue over time. If you're the kind of person who throws their gun in the case after a round and doesn't touch it until the next range day, a semi-auto will eventually let you down. But if you're willing to spend 15 minutes after each session giving it a proper clean, the A400 Xcel will reward you with performance that rivals guns costing significantly more. Number 2. The Beretta 686 Silver Pigeon One. We're now entering the tier of shotguns that fundamentally change a shooter's relationship with their gun, and the Beretta 686 Silver Pigeon One is arguably the most successful clay shooting shotgun ever made. That's not hyperbole. Look at any range, any competition, any sporting ground in the world, and you will see silver pigeons everywhere. There's a very simple reason for that. This gun gets the fundamentals so perfectly right that it becomes almost invisible in your hands. When you mount a well-fitted silver pigeon, something interesting happens. You stop thinking about the gun. You stop being aware of its weight, its balance, its dimensions. It just becomes an extension of you. Your eyes lock onto the target. Your body moves and the gun flows with you like it's reading your mind. That's not magic. That's the result of decades of refinement in weight distribution, stock geometry, and barrel dynamics. The balance point on the 686 sits right between your hands, which means the gun pivots and swings with minimal effort. You're not hauling weight around. You're directing it. And that subtle difference changes everything about how you shoot, especially on targets that require fast, precise gun movement like teal, quartering birds, and tight window crossers. The trigger on the Silver Pigeon deserves its own mention. It's crisp, clean, and predictable. There's no creep, no mushiness, no ambiguity about when it's going to break. You apply pressure, and the gun fires at the exact moment you expect it to. That precision in the trigger translates directly to precision on the target. You stop second-guessing your timing. You stop pulling off the line. You commit to the shot, and the gun responds instantly. Durability is another area where the shotgun excels. The action is built to handle tens of thousands of rounds without significant wear. Many Silver Pigeon owners report shooting 50,000 rounds or more with nothing more than routine maintenance. That kind of longevity makes the higher price tag much easier to justify when you calculate the cost per round over the gun's lifetime. The only real barrier to this shotgun is the upfront investment. It costs significantly more than the entry-level options on this list. But for the shooter who has moved beyond the beginner stage and is ready to commit to serious improvement, the Silver Pigeon One is the gun that bridges the gap between recreational shooting and genuine competitive performance. Number 1. The Beretta 694 Sporting. And here it is, the gun at the top of this list, and the one that competitive clay shooters reach for when they want every possible advantage the moment they step onto the course. The Beretta 694 Sporting is not designed to be a good all-around shotgun. It's not designed to be versatile. It's designed for one singular purpose, to break clay targets in competition at the highest possible level. And every single element of its design serves that purpose. Let's start with the weight distribution, because this is where the 694 truly separates itself. The balance on this gun has been engineered with an almost obsessive level of precision. The barrels, the receiver, the stock, the fore end, everything has been calculated to create a swing that feels effortless and controlled simultaneously. When you move on a target, the gun carries its own momentum. You're not pushing it or dragging it. You initiate the movement, and the gun amplifies it with this beautiful, fluid consistency that makes even difficult targets feel manageable. The sight plane on the 694 is wider than standard, which does something really important for target acquisition. Your eyes pick up the target faster, you read its line more quickly, and that extra fraction of a second in visual processing translates to earlier, more decisive shooting. You're breaking targets at the optimal point in their flight path, instead of chasing them as they fade. That's the difference between a solid score and a winning score. The recoil management on this platform is also refined to an impressive degree. Long competitive sessions, sometimes spanning multiple rounds across an entire day, can break down a shooter physically and mentally. The 694 minimizes the physical toll, keeping your shoulder fresh and your flinch response at bay deep into the later rounds when concentration is fading and fatigue is creeping in. This is when most shooters lose targets. And the 694 is specifically designed to keep you performing at your peak, when everyone else starts to decline. The overall fit and finish is exceptional, but this isn't about aesthetics, it's about function. Every surface, every angle, every texture on this gun is there to enhance your grip, your mount, your alignment, and your follow-through. Nothing is decorative, everything is deliberate. Now the price. This is a premium shotgun, and it carries a premium price tag. Here's what it all comes down to. And this is the part I really need you to hear. The best shotgun on this list is not the most expensive one. It's the one that matches where you are as a shooter right now. Buying a gun that's beyond your current skill level won't accelerate your development. It'll actually create frustration because you won't understand why this expensive firearm isn't giving you the results you expected. Start where you are, master that level, then move up when your skills demand better equipment, not before. The right shotgun at the right time, combined with dedicated practice and proper technique, is the formula that produces real, lasting improvement. Everything else is just noise. Drop a comment and let me know which of these 5 shotguns caught your attention.